How behavioral targeting works and what to know when using it. Behavioral targeting is a big buzzword with marketers lately, but what does it mean, and how should you use it when formulating your marketing plan? The goal of this article is to educate you on what behavioral targeting is, and to give you a firm grasp of how it should be applied, and what the drawbacks are. Behavioral targeting is the practice of targeting online ad banners to users based on their previous behavior on a site. This behavior could have been on the same day, the previous 24 hours, even as far back as 30 days prior. The main point is to identify users that have expressed interest either through active choice or simple browsing, and based on those choices, target them with an ad whose subject is likely to be more relevant to their immediate interests, or even long-term ones, than a randomly served or geo-targeted ad. Behavioral targeting is usually achieved through cookies. The ad server being used, either that used by the site, or one used by a third party, will write information to a cookie on the user's browser when they visit a site that has been pre-selected as being desirable to track behavior around. Case in point, a user visiting a travel site or the travel section of the site. Then, depending on the time period in question, the ad server will look for this cookie when deciding whether to serve a targeted ad. If the user shows up again in the correct time period, with a cookie that has information relevant to the targeting, the ad server will serve them a behaviorally targeted ad. In the travel example I use here, this might be a car rental or airline ad. The key criteria in behavioral targeting are determining the window for how long someone's behavior is relevant to the goal of your advertising campaign, and whether this group of people whose behavior is being targeted is big enough to be meaningful. For instance, in the case of someone being targeted because they are demonstrating travel decision behavior, how long would they be expected to still be in the window of making a travel choice before they no longer are relevant? One would guess that in 7 days, they are still relevant and could have their purchase decision tipped in the direction of the advertiser, but beyond that, it might be a wasted decision, as they have already made plans. This will vary by product, but it is an important consideration if you are paying a premium for behavioral targeting. The other factor is this even a large enough group of people to have a significant spend on? At the end of the day, behavioral targeting is aimed at a very small subsection of a site's traffic. If it turns out that this small group of people, essentially a subset of returning visitors to a site, is too small to make a significant spend on, then you may have to change your strategy and make behavioral only a tiny portion of that game plan. Your other choice could be to go with larger ad networks that have more inventory, usually across multiple web properties, to effectively target any mass amount of people behaviorally.